This show features adult content and an additional content warning in the show notes. Thank you to our longtime Patreon supporters, Prime, David Hayes, Matt Birch, Alchemist, Tim Ruiz, Mo Skell, Ethan Saperstein, and Wade Bernier, along with Greg Gray, Ariel Weiss, Kyle Neese, Jared, Kirby, Jonathan Turner, Gary Oswald, and Matt Stevens. Music on the show is by Rudy Zuniga, Levi Rojas, James Quinn, Renee Wanger, or myself. The cast of Sounds Like Crows features Marshall Sims as Thaddeus, Isaac Sunstead as Abel, Alex Horrell as Ellis, Cameron Day as Lucky, and Cameron Reed as Harper, along with Allie Nesbitt, who plays Meadow, and Doug Nesbitt, who plays Hiram. You can find both of them on their show, RPG for You and Me. Savage Worlds is owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and with all of that out of the way, welcome back to the Weird West.
Have I ever told you about my first command?
Meadow is leaning on a railing. You can hear the party through an open set of doors that leads back inside. The occasional polite chuckles, the shuffling and the clacking of feet, drinks put on trays.
Caught in combat for the very lifeblood of democracy. The fate of our world caught in the balance of history. In the thick of it, I saw something. Those dead, bloodied men rise up, musket and bayonet in hand, to fight.
Man, Wake's put you in a hell of a mood. Have you had one too many tonight?
He finishes his drink. He moves to the door, shutting it. Meadow turns around to lean on the railing, the night and crickets chirping in the background, far right of the frame, and on the left, the door frame, Thomas still holding on to the doorknob.
Thomas?
Do you want to fuck Hiram Crow?
Where is this coming from?
A little birdie told me.
He holds his right fist in his left hand in a vice-like grip. On his left hand, he wears a ring he always wears. As long as you've known him, it's never left his hands. The engraving, the small iconography of a nightingale.
Do you want to fuck Hiram Crow?
Well, I got a better question. Do you want to fuck me? This is the most we've talked in probably, months. You put me on your shelf. That's my place, I suppose.
You took an oath. You signed a goddamn contract.
He starts to walk towards Meadow.
I gave you a daughter. Isn't that enough for you?
People always think women want children. I don't know why.
What the fuck does that mean?
What the fuck do you mean? What are we doing out here? People are gonna hear. Not like when we can go, back at home, you lock the door and that's it. You're getting sloppy.
Hear what, Meadow? A bad mother getting what's hers.
And he walks towards you, and he's gonna try to grab you.
Where?
By your throat.
Could she have a glass in her hand that she just smashes on the railing to use as a weapon?
Let's make an opposed fighting roll.
Mine's a D4.
Thomas Crane has a D12. In a moment, we see him stalk towards her. She smashes the glass on the edge, his face caught, detached, like his mind is somewhere else as he stalks towards you. He rolled a 9.
11.
You beat him, but not by a raise. His goal here is to, grab you, but what happens instead?
This feels like Endgame, and I think she feels that, so I think she's gonna attempt to give him some wound.
Yeah, probably a D4 plus your strength.
That's a 6.
You stab into his side, the glass caught by his ribs. He doesn't even take a wound, but a small spurt of blood comes out, covering the glass as he knocks away your hand and grimaces as you take a few steps back. He didn't manage to grab you, but you haven't managed to wound him. He holds his right hand to his wound and feeling the blood in between his fingers as Meadow sort of backs up to the center of this balcony. The shot is such that we can see the party inside, but no one's near the door. Everyone is caught up in the social ladder climbing, everyone too caught up in their own action to see what's happening.
Well, I didn't know you had it in you, Meadow. What a good example for your daughter you're setting.
He moves the blood in between his fingers.
Well, if you're the best man in the world, she needs to have some practice before she gets out there.
If she makes it out there, how's she gonna do that without you to protect her, Meadow?
What are you trying to say to me?
Well, before you set to stabbing me.
Oh, before you were gonna choke me out on a balcony?
You
fuck.
Why didn't you tell me who Hiram was to you?
Because he wasn't anything.
That's a goddamn lie. You are a selfish woman.
You are the most self-righteous son of a bitch I've ever met in my life, telling me what I should think and where I should go and what I need to dress like.
And I thought that's what made us who we are.
Who do you think we are? How are we supposed to sit on some goddamn throne together when this is how you take out your valid concerns, just having fistfights, brawls in the middle of a wake?
I really hope you aren't a lost cause.
Oh, do you deign to give me another chance? That's so kind of you.
I have given you more than enough chances, woman.
I have a name, you know. I hoped you'd remember it after this long.
Meadow, I have given you everything you could want. And the reason maybe we haven't spent as much time together as you would like is I have been busy saving the world from the dangers I have seen. Now, I've let you eat your goddamn pies and have your fucking shooting competitions.
You didn't let me help.
I've told you exactly how you could help me keep our daughter safe. All of my energy, Meadow, is spent out there saving you and everyone from the shit that's coming. All you had to do is raise our daughter.
Maybe you should have clued me in on that. Would have saved us both a lot of trouble.
If you weren't so caught up in Hiram, maybe you'd be around to listen to me. Did you invite him here?
Why would I invite him here?
Why is he here?
I don't know. He does what he wants. He goes where he pleases.
Why didn't you tell me the second he showed up that the only reason he was here was to go after you? Whether or not you wanted it, which I don't believe for a goddamn second.
Honestly, I thought he'd get bored.
So what am I supposed to do about him?
Not a goddamn thing. You're trying to save the world. He's a more valuable asset alive than dead. I think you know that. Don't be foolish.
He wipes the blood off his hand onto his pants leg.
If you leave with him, Meadow. My God, if you leave with him.
Meadow takes a quick step forward and closes the gap between them, and she grabs the collar of his very nice shirt and tries to drag him down to her eye level. Do you actually love me? How am I supposed to think you love her?
We are building a kingdom together, Meadow. A kingdom that will outlast maybe even the devil himself. I need you by my side. I need the loyalty you can offer. Our daughter will be the heir to what we build together. You just need to put your head down, stay, and make sure she lives to make it there.
This building sound is coming closer from the back of the train. What would the Crow Boys like to do?
What the fuck do you guys think that is?
Whatever it is, it ain't good.
Yeah.
Well, shit, you don't think he had one of those from Tabitha, do you?
I don't know, he might.
Shit, I'm starting to feel real itchy, boys.
Does this room have windows?
You can open them, yeah.
Thaddeus would like to go ahead and take a look outside because, Caleb, I would really like to have a conveniently placed, some sort of overhang that could provide shadow to us at a dramatically convenient time.
Well, as this sound builds, you move to the lever and attempt to open up the shutters. Make a strength roll at -2.
Oh, shit.
It's stuck.
Yeah. And, it just kind of occurred to me that when we take care of Crane, we're going to need to be able to get out of here. And I'm going to need a shadow for that.
The sound is getting so close.
Nice of you to mention that now.
Well, I said it on the way in. I figured it implied it.
Find cover, guys.
Yeah, Harper moves into cover.
As does Lucky.
Picking up the spear.
I'm going to fucking take this thing head on. I'm going to stand in the middle of the aisle and brace myself. Can I go on hold?
I think what I would do with that, Ellis, is that you'll still deal initiative, but you get an agility roll when he comes into contact with you opposed, and if you're successful, you can perform a free action.
Sounds good.
There is one train car beyond you, and the far side, the door is closed. Through that door bursts forth a bowl from hell itself. Long horns stretching out to each side of the train car, ripping it like a piece of paper. The walls cut in half. You can see behind it the light from the snow spilling in from the ruined train cars, collapsed in, ghost steel brought down by the fires of hell. The purple black bowl is covered in a matted bloody hide, and its fiery hooves imprint flame as it runs towards you. 2 burning embers burn in its eyes, and another in its mouth and nostrils as smoke pours forth, carrying its rider, a hanging judge, hooded and ready to kill some crows.
Holy shit.
Well, we can kill the bull without being lawmen, I think.
It's worth a shot.
Oh, that's really cool, Caleb.
That is
but
really
God
cool.
damn.
God damn. I was not expecting
To
a
make sure my
bull
brain
to
is
be
tracking.
charging us.
He's riding the bull?
Yep.
Jeez, that's fucking sick. Look
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
fucking sick. I mean, I quit the game, just FYI. But
Thaddeus gets a 2 of spades. Ellis gets a 10 of spades. Abel gets a 10 of spades.
Oh, no.
Lucky gets a queen of spades. I legitimately shuffled this. Harper gets a king of spades. Wait. King, queen, 10, no jack, no
10-2.
9.
10-2. Get out of here, Caleb.
10-2,
Get out of here.
10-2. Okay.
Get out of here. Stop with that bullshit. Don't even worry about it.
Cool.
so just to be clear, I can exchange the spade for double fan the hammer, right?
You can
Adding more spades to the deck.
You can
Could
add
add
more
more,
spades
yeah.
to the deck,
boys, I mean, we're all the way. We're going. Thaddeus, I'll race you to the bottom.
We're all the way down.
I think the first thing that's going to happen is everyone is going to make a fear roll. Ellis, I think you're at a further negative from your phobia.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's minor or major. I think it was minor.
That sounds right.
It was minor, yeah.
Okay, so that's a -1 to my trait rolls. So it's going to be at -3.
Yeah.
So 8 minus 3, I got a 5.
I'm going to use my Guts Edge to re-roll this once. I failed. I'm going to use a Benny.
Also going to use guts to reroll.
So first things before you guys tell me your results, the bull gets an ace of spades. We're now at ace, king, queen, 10. The judge gets 2 cards, a 6 of clubs and a 7 of diamonds.
Nice.
Thank God.
A flush is present on the table.
It's not over yet.
I'm going to deal 1 card to the judge, a 6 of hearts. Anything else present on the table?
Pair of tens.
Pair of 10s.
It's 2 cards, 4 of spades, 5 of spades. We are a 3 short
Nice.
of a straight.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
with the cards out of the way, let's talk about your fear rolls. Let's go around the table. Thaddeus,
I'm going to take it. It was a 4. I rolled 6 minus 2.
Ellis, a brother in spirit to the thing that killed you before. What did you roll?
I got a 5 after the -3. So I think that there's still that moment where Ellis sees this thing and there's just like this quick thought that runs through his mind. Maybe he even almost feels the barrel of this revolver in his chest. But then he snaps back and that fear turns to adrenaline and rage, I guess, or whatever the hard equivalent of adrenaline would be.
I fail.
Lucky?
So I failed originally. I have guts. I failed again. I bennied, and I failed again.
Oh God, dude.
so I'm gonna just have a heart attack, I think.
Okay, Harper.
I had the exact same situation as Lucky, but I managed to succeed on the last roll with a 7 minus 2.
So Abel and Lucky both failed. Abel, let's do you first. Roll a d20 plus 2. I will remind you.
15 plus 2 is 17.
That's okay.
Panicked. The character immediately moves
That's
his
not
full
good.
pace plus a running die away from the danger and is
he has
shaken.
I
quickness
also
going.
have speed, so
That is not good.
I'm real far. I think
And you got a raise.
He just books it out of
Are you
there.
afraid of bulls, man?
Describe yourself running past Lucky, maybe.
so. As this thing rides out, Abel looks around at everything else that's been happening, and for a moment, I think there's that flicker of realizing what they've done, how far they've come, and he understands and truly feels it in his gut that they are all now damned. He failed at the only thing he cared about, and he just wants out, and he runs full speed past Lucky in a blur, duster flapping behind him as he races between these cars. You know when you're going really fast in between things, you catch yourself on a doorway and almost accelerate yourself. I think his hands are grabbing those chairs, launching him forward. And I have speed. I can move double my pace for free, and I assume I do. And then the running die also happens. So 6 blow up.
You can't blow up.
Yeah,
running
you can't
cars,
blow up.
Great.
which is good in this case.
But that is as far as you could possibly run away.
I think you're
in the
probably at
control room.
control room.
Currently, the crows are 24 yards from the judge and the bull. So you are running how many feet? How many yards? 12 plus 6?
18.
18. And as you run past Lucky, the camera falls on him as he rolls a d20.
What if I get an 18 and it becomes a 20? Do I still have a heart attack?
No, that's a major phobia. Heart attack is a 22.
You can only nat 20, buddy. You're all right.
What are the chances of that happening twice?
Yeah,
You
you're
know?
right. That's silly.
In a 3-day
That'd be
span.
crazy.
Come on.
Hey, I'm having flashbacks.
Oh, I saw the 2. It's a 2. Okay. Oh, man, that was bad.
Barely distracted. The hero is distracted until the end of his next turn. That means it's -2 on actions on your next turn.
I think it's surprisingly less about the bull and more about Abel actually running past me in what looks like genuine fear.
The longhorn charges forward, carving a path in the side of the train car as he charges towards you. Running roll. Rolled a 1. He is moving 9 yards towards you, so he is now 13 yards away from you. The horns on him are immense. The strength in which he is ripping through this ghost steel plating surrounding the train car implies a strength unlike anything you've seen.
Is it ripping both sides?
Both sides.
Okay.
It's opening this like a can.
Yes. Yeah.
Also,
okay.
it's big enough to open it like a can, but also strong enough to punch through 2 doors to get from one car to the next car. That's fucking gross.
How big is the bull itself, or does it have just ludicrously long horns?
8-foot horns on either side, just ripping through everything unnaturally.
Now, this thing sounds big to me. Do I get a +1 shooting it?
It is barely not giving you
That's-
a +1.
Wow.
You can count coup on this thing.
Yes. We have to kill this. I want the horns. baby.
Alex is back on board, boys.
8-foot horns,
I
baby.
want a bull.
It's going to be a leadership
Do I
thing.
get a bull?
Just pull a bull out of hell
One
and
weird
ride it.
edge if you qualify for it.
All right, Caleb, I'm going to make 2 shots. The first one's going to be a headshot, so I'll be making both of these at -2. On the bull, try to do this thing just like we did the judge the first time. I'm going to use a Benny.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
Yuck.
So that's a miss on the first shot. Still a hit with a raise on the second. 11 damage.
Your bullet pings fruitlessly off its steely hide. There's almost a metallic clang as the lead meets something harder than any hide you've seen in your life.
Shit.
Next is Lucky.
Abel might not have the worst idea of running backwards, guys. Should we really
You can only
be...
run so far.
Yeah, I mean, you can move
you
6
can
yards
shoot, I
every
guess. You
round.
can
shoot
move
at
and
it
shoot,
while
move and
we're...
Backing up. That's kind of a cool
Are
shot.
you
yeah.
guys gonna? I mean,
if
you'll probably
you-
stand and fight, but I don't know if I want to get into anywhere close to melee with this
I would
bullshit.
prefer not to melee, and I built myself to handle melee.
I can try and tank it, but I might die.
Yeah. No, I want to be close. Like, I'm picturing shotgun over your shoulder blasting at it to help you.
Oof, one of us is gonna die, boys.
I'm gonna go with you.
Or both.
All right, I'm going to at least dip back far enough. We can see it from, like, it's charging through the doors.
I
and
imagine
stuff.
it almost takes up like the whole train car.
Is it in the same train car as us?
No, it's one ahead of you.
Okay.
But it's almost to the door between that train car and you because it's 13 yards away.
I assume the doors are open, and that's
They
why we
are.
can see this.
Yes.
Okay.
So I
Did we
cannot-
see it burst through the first one?
Yes.
I'm going to drop back to the doorway of the previous train car. And then I think I'm only going to try and take a single... I have to do a called shot to the head. I'm going to miss, so I'm at
It's gonna
negative.
be a -6. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
have to. You can just shoot it.
I just don't know if I
Oh,
can do enough
headshot's just
damage.
-4.
Right, but he's at -2 because he's distracted.
Oh, shit.
I just don't know if I can push the damage without...
I mean, you can taunt.
I don't want to taunt this thing, not yet.
It doesn't necessarily pull aggro.
No.
If you hit a raise, then you can do all those effects.
Yeah, I only have it pull aggro when you want it to. Like a core mechanic is tests, which is opposing their spirit or smarts with a skill of yours. And if you're successful, you can apply shaken, vulnerable, or distracted.
which are huge for the rest of us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sounds like a better idea than shooting. Is there a range? Can I do it from 19 yards away?
I'm going to say yes if you yell loud enough.
I'm going to yell loud enough, Caleb.
Wow. Good choice.
Lucky's going to be saying this as he's retreating. Bring it on, you son of a bitch. We killed you once before.
Are you taunting the judge or the bull?
The bull, actually. I got a 10.
Oh, blew an 8. Into a 11. Fuck, man.
Yeah, but he has a -2 to getting taunted by crows.
No.
It's not a thing.
Lucky, how is the clothing on this judge more ornate than the last judge?
So we can tell that this one is a little bit more ornate because he's wearing a judge's gown. And the gown is actually an extension of the hood that is around him. So it's almost like a ghostly drape.
He's holding in his hands a long bored rifle. A rifle that's 12 feet long, and coming off the end of it like a scythe is a blade that comes out another 5 feet, hanging down like a lance ready to charge at the crows. Abel or Ellis, whoever wants to go first.
First things first, I'm gonna do let the devil out, of course.
Yeah.
And I thought
Oh,
about
no.
this. If I roll like murder or mayhem, it's not really gonna apply.
The thing about those is it says that I can hold them on for later.
Oh, okay. Pay for it later. I'm fine with that.
Yes, yeah, that sounds good. Want to roll a d6?
I like that idea of kiting the bull first.
Oh God, that's murder, baby.
Oh, great.
Every time. Wow.
Baby, are you sure?
We've come too far to run now, Ben. It's now or never.
Ride or die, baby.
And then Lucky has a heart attack.
Okay.
So I'm letting the devil out. I've done the description a couple times now. Same shit. Black capillaries, black veins. I keep that armor duster on. You better bet your ass. And then my dominion goes down 1 to 7. And then after that, I'm going to spend 2 power points to maintain smite. And then I'm going to cast another spell. This is my only action I'm going to take this round. It's going to be just a flat roll, but I also get that d6 from the trait. So I'm casting deflection, but that 6 blows up to another 6, so it's going to be with the raise. For the next 5 rounds, I'll have smite on both of my fists, and I will have -4 to all attacks against me. And then I'm going to move back a little bit just with my regular movement, and that's the end of my turn.
Okay, so you pull up right next to me.
Cool.
Abel, after a few moments, your loyalty to your brothers kicks in and you stop in your tracks, turn around to Lucky following behind you. You are shaken, so make a spirit roll.
How many times are we going to say, time to grab the bull by the horns?
0 times so far.
Well, we're going to have to
4.
up that big time.
Okay, so you made it. You can act normally this round.
Abel pauses at the next portal between cars. In front of him, the destruction from earlier laid clear, blood congealing and clotting on the floor as he pauses. He looks over his shoulder as shots ring out as his brothers gather together, and he takes a deep breath. Sometimes you gotta be the man. And he turns with resolve. There will be no more wavering, and he charges back at full speed towards the brothers. So if I just move double my pace, because I have 3 rounds left of quickness, I can move 12, just barely behind my brothers, 21 range from this creature. I'm just going to fire a single shot, no weirdness, no called.
Well, you can fire too with no negatives.
Oh,
These are quick.
right. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to do that. A 7 and a 7 on a shooting roll, so that's hit and hit. First attack is a 7 on the damage roll. 10 on the second.
Abel lets off 2 bullets, firing down the length of the train car and impacting into the bull's skull. They explode in lead shrapnel as the thick armored hide of this long horn holds him against your damage.
Okay, that's my turn.
Thaddeus is the only one left besides the judge.
Oh.
I forgot the judge
well,
gets to go.
Yeah, I did too. And he's got a freaking super crazy gun.
Who is furthest in front?
It's Harper and Thaddeus. Everybody else got to run. Hey, Caleb, you maybe want to write down an ace or two?
What do you want?
Well, I would like to treat this 2 of spades as a joker, which would mean I get to go whenever I want, interrupting the judge, and I'd get a +2 on my trait rolls.
If you'll let me put not swap, but add an ace into the deck, absolutely.
If I have to give up that much to get a joker, I might try to get Harper and I out of here.
Oh, teleport you further back.
Yes, I'm going to spend 2 4 power points, and I'll let you put an ace in there.
I did.
I did. There's a lot of confidence that Caleb knew we were going to take this deal.
Already done.
And let me roll this spell casting for this, because if it doesn't make it, any description I have is just going to feel bad.
You got a +2 on it.
Because of the Joker.
I do have a +2.
To Thaddeus, what this looks like is you go to teleport and the phantom deck forms in your hand. You run your thumb along the side and you can see the possibilities stretched out before you like a river. In one, Harper gourd with strength, D12 +4 plus a D12 damage. So 2D12 +4 damage on a success, not counting a charge, in addition to the judge barreling down
We
with his
fought the
sai.
horse separate from the judge, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter if I get rid of the judge. Harper, we're getting out of here.
I've been reading up a little bit on this charging and mountain combat.
Yeah.
There's a couple things I think everybody should know. Number 1, as you already know, he has to use riding instead of fighting.
Absolutely.
But I mean, it's probably the fucking same thing.
Yeah. Mhm.
Number 2, the character becomes shaken, stunned, or wounded while mounted, or his mount becomes incapacitated. He has to make a riding roll. If he fails, then he falls off. If the mount was
Cool.
running, he takes 2d4 damage. If you make an attack against the rider of a mount, and you get a 1 on your shooting roll, or it targets the mount. So missing is not necessarily a bad thing if you get a 1.
Cool.
And then when an animal is shaken or wounded, it rears or bucks. A rider must make a riding roll to stay mounted or falls. And charging, a rider on a charging horse adds +4 to his damage roll with a successful fighting attack. To be considered charging, a rider must have moved at least 6 inches or more in a relatively straight line towards the foe.
So you see that future splayed out before you. You see the future where you teleport away and the bull keeps charging, going after your other brothers. You see even one where it's dead in a single shot at Harper's hand, and then that's all in a brief instant, flicking your hand on the cards, riffling them.
Harp, you got a shot?
No.
We're getting out of here.
And he's going to just slap a hand on Harper's shoulder and hope for the best. I'm aiming for 12 yards back up the train behind my brothers.
Cool.
It's just not a raise, which doesn't matter. We don't need to be 24 away. So we're going to teleport. I'm going to grab a hold of Harper and yank him into the seat where we're at, pull him down low, and shove my hand close to the floorboards where it's darkest in the seat, and then look down the hallway. And as he looks down the hallway, we appear looking back down the hallway at the bull and rider. Now 12, so 25 yards away.
So now we're the closest.
Ellis and Lucky, right? At 19?
Yep.
And then I'll use movement at another 6 away.
All right. With a -4, I think he'll just try to go for a headshot.
On me?
We'll do the good old tried and true method. This is heads, this is tails. He's lucky heads.
I'm tails. Always.
You're always tails, right? Heads.
So I'm getting killed right now.
Called headshot.
No, you
Called
got
Caleb,
headshot.
I have deflection going, so in addition to any
Yes.
cover, plus
Yeah.
the headshot, called shot, he also has -4. So it's
Perfect.
like -10.
It's -8, which he gets +2 in shooting, so -6. That is a miss. I'll spend a Benny for good luck.
I just hope it doesn't blow up.
For good luck.
Miss. He brings up the rifle, implanting the sai into the bull, holding it like a bipod, takes a shot, firing down, spiraling through the train, missing you completely.
What does this gun sound like when it shoots? Is it like an abnormally... I mean, it's 12 feet long.
It's a high-pitched crack, and then it's that sound when large steel cables are hit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There are 2 jokers left here.
I'll take one.
Why would you bring that up?
Yeah, I'd take one too.
Thaddeus, ace of spades.
Did he move closer to us?
No, because that was the judge's turn.
Gotcha.
Ellis, 5 of spades. Abel, 9 of spades. Lucky, 9 of hearts. Harper, 7 of hearts.
We're okay.
The Longhorn gets a joker.
Oh, no.
Interesting.
We're okay.
Well, yeah, probably can't actually reach anybody.
Does that add to its movement?
No.
The judge gets a queen of clubs. However, both the bull and the judge get a Benny.
Do we get bennies for Thaddeus getting a joker? Or is that like not a real joker?
No, I don't think that's a real joker. He didn't draw it.
I don't know.
He made a
Savage
he put
Rules
an
does
ace
say
in there.
pretty frequently you should be giving your characters bennies
That
for
is
good
true.
role-playing
That is
moments.
true.
I used it to
That's
save my
true.
brother.
He
That's
put
true.
an ace in the deck.
I'll tell you what, since you brought it up, Lucky, Thaddeus, you get 1 Benny.
Hey.
Sounds better than nothing.
Well, you know,
Go. The judge gets an ace of spades.
that makes for a pair.
I would chant ace of spades, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to honor
Ace
that.
of
Fuck that.
spades.
I'm
a fake
going to
one.
deal 2 cards to the judge unless you want to alter that, Thaddeus, to somebody else. There's about...
You're just joker fishing, man. I don't think
I am joker fishing. That's enough for a flush, though, with 2 more spades. A 3. What else we got on the table? 5.
Nothing. Get out of here.
The bull goes first. If everyone would adjust themselves, the bull charges forward 15 yards.
Oh, it's getting close.
He rolled a 7 on his running die.
Oh my God, that's terrifyingly close.
6.
4.
Next up, it's between Thaddeus and the judge. Let's do an agility off, man.
I was at 31. I felt cool. Now I'm 3 feet further than I was before.
Okay, you go before the judge.
You're starting to see sweat from his brow as he rises up from the floor, having just appeared there. He's going to pull the shotgun from his sling, and I'm going to use both barrels, and this will be at a -2 because I'm a multi-action and run the other way.
Okay.
On top of 6. Yeah, well, that makes sense for the situation. Thaddeus misses with a 3. And then he's going to run 6 and run 5. 27 away.
Okay, the judge goes next. Missing Ellis, he swivels to fire at Lucky. Same negative, so it's a -6. He blew up a 6 into a 3. Barely a miss,
thank
my friend.
God.
The judge fires fruitlessly as we go to...
Well, it whizzes past my head, too, because he's
Yeah.
aiming for
Right.
brains.
Yes.
Yeah.
Abel, it's your turn.
I am going to cast Protection on Lucky for my first action. Going to cast it for toughness. Costs 3 power points. Let's see if I get this off. Blew up into a 10, so that's with a raise. Your toughness is increased by 4.
I like that.
5 rounds. Abel is thinking back to that moment in the barn where he was going down and Lucky was going down. That was the last brother that he saw go. That's all he can think about. It's the first action, and for a second, I'll call a shot to the foreleg of this bull.
I think Abel holds up his left arm, and where his palm would be, the ace of spades shimmers in the air for a moment.
Blew up to 10 to a
Yes.
15, plus 1 is 16, minus the shot penalty. Hit with a raise.
Thank God.
Shoot his fucking
Yes.
knee out,
So
baby.
is that 4d6 damage?
It is 4d6 damage because this
We
is the
need that.
right hand of the devil. 15 AP1 to the leg.
Doesn't hurt it, man.
Oh my God.
Doesn't
Yeah,
kill
that
it.
doesn't surprise me, honestly.
This thing's a fucking
I'm
monster.
going to move, double my pace because I got speed going. So
Okay.
I'm going from 6 to 18 range.
And it's Lucky's turn.
It was -2 to shoot it in the leg.
Yep. And if you cause a wound, you'll reduce its pace by a die type, which will affect its pace and its running from a d8 to a d6. You do feel that fire burning on your left hand. Hotter than it was before. Burning at 3d8, 4d8, or 5d8 damage.
I'm going to take a multi-action penalty, and I'm going to run. Let's start with that. So I have
Yeah.
a pace of 6 plus 1.
So you take off after your brothers. There's a very wide shot of the train, the white engine bursting up, snow that is now falling over the ruined train cars. The hellish Longhorn has left behind just a flat top with ruined, scattered remains of the roof collapsed onto the thing. And on the left, we see the crows running as like the wall is cut away running away from the oncoming storm.
How many cars away are we from the engine? I want to start tracking down like how much room we have to run.
How about a 24-car train? And now you're 12 from the engine. I suppose it could be cooler if there was less room.
I disagree.
I already disagree.
That sounds stupid.
Caleb, were there cannons on the top of this car?
Yeah, there are.
How are
Those
those
are just chilling
operated?
up
Do we
there.
know?
Yeah.
Well, nobody who could operate them is really alive anymore, right?
No,
all
they're up
kind
there
of
the
terrified
whole
of
time.
us.
They're just hanging out up there.
Wow, I'm really glad I'm not downstairs, aren't you, Bob?
That sounds awful.
Are those separate pillboxes from the? It's like a double decker with the turret.
Yeah, you can climb up into the gun turrets. They're like the turrets on a B-52 or like the attack gunships from Attack of the Clones.
But there's nobody in them now.
No.
I'm just picturing how does this train make it through any other tunnels if it's the only one that's got human-sized bubbles on top of it?
Shut up, Thaddeus.
Shut the
Stop thinking about shit.
I think I'm just going to take a shot at this. I think that's my best bet is to try and just shake it. So just a normal shot. -1 because of trademark. That's snake eyes.
Is that bystander? Because that means it hits.
Yeah, then do some damage to Ellis. That's how
Shoot
the
me,
innocent
baby.
bystander works.
Hey, I give you a heart attack.
You can rip it
that
out
one
and then throw it
time,
at the
so
bolt.
It's fair is fair.
I guess. This will be the time I get like...
Yeah, you blow them all up
blow
and
them.
Ellis is just dead. Well, you can't kill me because you didn't do a headshot, so.
Just 11.
Okay, I'm fine. Not even shaking. Just hits me in the back. Hey, watch where you're aiming there.
Okay, Harper Crow, you're up.
Harper is kind of coming to the realization that he's not outrunning this bull. I'm only 10 inches away, and the chances that I roll enough to be able to not be impacted by this thing on the next round are very, very low. So I think Harper is going to climb on top of the train. Also, I have another question about that. Because this bull is tearing up both walls as it's going, does that mean that the top of the previous train cars are just gone?
Some of them were taken by the wind. Some of them fell down behind it. Some of them were ripped half up like a soda can torn open. So I think when it charges past you, it would just be an agility roll to either critical failure would be fall off the train. Failure would be falling prone, take damage.
Okay.
It's a risky play. Being on top
It's
of
a
that.
risky play, but if I roll anything below a 4 on my running die, I'm going to get wrecked. So I think, his best bet is to just climb.
Yeah, man.
For a moment, it's like a fearful moment because maybe the closer door is the one closer to the bull. And so you have to take a few steps towards it and then climb the ladder on the outside to get you onto the roof of the train car.
And then I think there's a shot of him throwing himself on top of the train. He's sitting there on his back holding his rifle, and we can just hear the tearing of steel and just the clomping and gunshots as he's just kind of trying to get himself situated.
Ellis.
Ellis is going to charge this bull, and I'm going to try and punch it in its bull head.
Great.
So I move into...
Good description, dude. Good.
I'm going to move into melee range.
Okay, man. The judge swings down the long sigh on the edge of its rifle and gets to make a free attack. Let's give it a
First
shot.
strike.
First strike. D12 fighting. Blows up a 6. 9 to hit.
Miss, because I've got deflection, so my parry,
Yes, that's
is
right.
currently 13.
Like a hound from hell, you duck underneath the blade and then lunge up at the bull.
All right, let's roll fighting.
Here we
Question is,
go.
do I go for a wild attack? It's going to be fucking risky, but it's +2 damage. It might matter.
It might.
And you remember the -1 from the hood, right?
Yes, so I do have a -1 from that, yeah.
It does -2 to your parry.
Yeah, basically he gets +2 to everything against me.
I would say no.
Okay.
We have to try to play it as safe as we can.
Okay, that means I'm just going to go for a regular fighting attack. I think I'm going to do 3 attacks. So it's going to be 1 multi-action penalty because I'm making 2 attacks with my main hand and 1 with my offhand. So it's going to be -2 to 2 attacks and -4 to the other one. So we do have a 6 that blew up. This is interesting because that's the letting the devil out dice. I can add a bunch to one of these rolls. 11 versus its parry.
Its parry is 8. No raise.
We could have used that.
Come on, blow up.
You might be able to.
6 blows up. Currently, I am at 24. 6 blows up.
Wow.
28, 4 AP.
It has 8 armor. 12
Holy
toughness
shit.
and 8 armor. 20 toughness with its armor. So 4, 8, 12. It's 3 raises on this longhorn. It's got 3 bennies.
Nice hit.
There we go. Let's hopefully it sticks.
Vigor is D12 plus 2.
Yeah, makes sense.
Only got a 4. I'm going to reroll.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, get wrecked. Get wrecked.
Into a 4, so that's only a 6.
Yeah, bite.
So it would only soak 1.
Get
It
wrecked.
would take 2 wounds then, right?
Oh my god, well I can't do that. I gotta spend 1 more Benny.
Oh, that's a 1.
I like that one.
Snake eyes. Snake eyes.
That's a 2. It soaks 1 wound and it takes 2 wounds.
Then that means the rider has to make a riding roll. If he fails, he falls. But he's not going to fucking fail.
Probably won't fail.
I don't know. Our Caleb's dice have not been super hot tonight.
And it's almost like an anime shot of Ellis cocking his arm back as he runs. And there's just like this shockwave of energy that ripples down his arm into his fist, which transfers into the head of this bull and down its body as it rears up, stopping its charge.
Snake eyes on his riding
Are you
roll.
serious?
Oh, yeah.
He is thrown forward, clutching his rifle. He does the flail in the air as he's thrown into a snowbank. We don't have to roll damage for him because he won't take wounds, but he has stopped at 80 miles an hour. The rest of the boys, along with Los Diablos, continue on into the storm.
Holy cow.
I think that's fair, guys. I'm not giving you a bone. Like, he rolled snake eyes on he's on top of a bull.
On a bull.
Right.
The train's
Yeah.
getting torn
We
apart.
made a lot of point of how we were ripping the train apart coming through here.
Yeah, there's no car behind him.
Harper's gonna come. What the fuck happened?
I just
anything
like
yet?
I really like the visual of Harper on the top and the train car just going shh, and then suddenly stopping right in front, like almost as the
He
roof
probably
gets
sees
to
him go flying off.
Yeah, like it pops up above the train and you make eye contact with the judge as he's flailing in the air for a minute. All right, sorry. Ellis?
I'll make the offhand attack now. Oh no! Yes. I'll make my second main hand attack. Also, I'll use improved frenzy
Oh, my
to do
God.
another fighting dice in there. 24.
I'll spend 1 Benny. I'll try to soak. It's shaken. If it gets 1 success, it will just take a 3rd wound total. Success. Barely. It is literally rolls a 4. It takes 1 more wound.
Okay, but it's still up.
Still up.
After I knock the judge off, the bull rears up as it comes back down. Ellis just uppercuts it, and then
Cool.
he's gonna try and hit it with his left jab in the side of its head. So this is gonna be at fucking -4.
I'm a lot less angry about the Ellis bullshit when it's not aimed at me. You know what I mean?
It feels better, right?
Yeah.
-4. Once again, that's a 13 minus 4, which brings it down to a 9. Hit, no raise again. So that 6 blows up into a 5. 24 plus 5 plus 4. So that is 34, right? That's with AP already factored in.
How, in the process of killing this thing, do you absorb its internal spark and gain 2 armor?
Ooh.
With that left jab and that AP, his fist literally enters into the skull of this beast, into its temple. Crackling red energy crawls up his left hand like a swarm of ants. But it's not that easy, don't worry about it. It's not real ants. And it kind of just creeps up his arm and then almost looks like it gets absorbed into his veins, which are now like pulsing with that black ooze. Into, I guess, his brand, right? That he has on his left hand or left arm. And then it kind of just dissolves into his flesh from there.
And then I think we see a shot from Harper's perspective. He's on the top of this train. He started moving to try to get behind this thing was his idea. So he like kind of jumps over the cannon and continues to move when he just hears what just sounds like a train crash, I think, below him. And as he stops and turns, he can see the judge go flying and just kind of crash into the snow. You know those shots where you're going so fast and you see something come to a complete stop and like the speed change almost doesn't make sense? There's just a massive puff of snow as this black being disappears into it at 80 miles an hour. And then Harper just finishes running across the train car and then slides down and hits the floor of the train on the other side, looking up to see the very end of this bull turning to dust, I
think
assume.
the bull is like smoking, right? I think there's just smoke billowing out of the wound of this thing.
Yeah.
Just filling the air.
Snow falling on it and turning into steam.
And then I assume he sees Ellis start walking over it and just kind of knows what happened.
The bull was unleashed from the 3rd to last car. There is a stretch of ruined and vacated cars that are more like metal platforms. 12, 14 of them between you and the last 2 train cars being pulled behind you.
Everybody all right?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Holy shit. That went a lot different than I anticipated.
Yeah, we
Yep.
better get a move on, but I think as they start running, they continue their conversation. Did
This
we
thing-
kill that thing?
No way. You gotta hang those fuckers, remember?
That's a problem for another day, Abel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's gonna
that's
be
true.
looking for us after all this, but, well, let the fucker come.
This thing really did a number on these train cars.
Well, at least we don't have to listen to Crane drone on anymore.
That is a good point.
No, I want to listen to him a little bit more.
We'll have our chance.
I need to hear him squeal.
Oh, he's gonna squeal. And Harper hits the lever of that rifle.
It's a cold, rainy night in Louisiana. The full moon above the two of you is obscured by this rainfall, and I think too you found a thicket of like large brush near like a tree line. We see Hiram look up at the full moon above him before some raindrops splatter in his eyes, and he pulls the hat down to protect himself from the rain. The camera moves, twisting around him so that we can see the mansion of Thomas Crane. Most of the house is asleep, but a few smattering of lights, with a few of the windows still flickering with candlelight. But it does seem silent for the moment. Hiram, even your horse is listless before you see a rider start to make their way through the rain. I think your hand instinctively grabs the handle of your revolver as you wait for them to approach. It's hard to make out their figure obscured by the almost downpour, but you quickly relax when you see that it's Meadow. Meadow, you pull up. You manage to escape without anyone seeing you as far as you knew. You don't see Mal anywhere nearby, but he should be here shortly. Both of you plan to sneak out at roughly the same time.
What are you gonna do with that? Shoot me?
Always like you to keep me waiting and make an entrance.
Where's Mal?
Hiram sucks on his teeth as he glances off into the darkness, and then up at the bright moon, and finally back to Meadow with a twitch of his head. I ain't seen him yet. He'll be along.
It's gonna be fine.
Can't wait too long. They're gonna notice and they send somebody after us.
I know. That's why I waited for a rainy day. So I'm gonna, she hands the reins of her horse to Hiram. I have to go get my gun. I couldn't grab it when I was waiting because it would be suspicious. I gotta go get it. I gotta go finish something. I'll be back.
Man, we got guns? We gotta go back? What are you talking about?
I have to go back, Hiram.
Meadow, you go back there now, we might not get another chance. He's gonna start asking questions. Took stuff, we got horses.
He's in his study. He's not gonna see me. It's gonna be fine.
You don't know that.
It's gonna be fine.
Why are you going back?
Trust me.
I do. But
Good. Because I gotta go back. And you're gonna be here.
he clenches his jaw, blows a breath out his nose, straightens, looks off into the darkness again, but nods firmly. Don't you keep me waiting again.
Meadow hops down from the horse and the boots, when they hit the ground, squelch a little bit.
You know we can. We talked about it.
Yes, we did.
It wouldn't work out.
I know that. We just see the pale moon hit her eye for a second before she turns and starts walking back to the mansion.
As Hiram watches Meadow make her way off into the darkness, he blows out another breath of frustration and absent-mindedly digs into his pocket for a pack of cigarettes before producing one, puts one in his mouth, pulls out a book of matches, and spends moments fruitlessly trying to light it in the rain, but just as many are extinguished by the violent trembling in his hand, and he eventually rips the cigarette and tosses it into the darkness in frustration.
The camera tilts up to the moon, rain flying past the camera. It sits there for a few moments as we see the clouds move ever quicker, the dark shapes in the cool night. One of them moves in front of the moon, and as the camera pulls back down, it goes all the way down to the hooves of the horses, one of which Hiram is on and the other he's holding, that have become deeper and deeper, trodden into the mud around them as they wait. I think we see Hiram produce a pocket watch, checking how long Meadow has been inside before returning it to his pocket. His hand, as always, slipping into a different pocket. and then you hear trotting horse steps. Once again, your hand goes to your revolver, and you let a breath out into the night as you see Mal. He's got a big hat on. He's gotten somewhere to hold himself against the rain. You can see him nervously hold his left hand on a revolver as his right struggles to keep the horse in check in the rain as he pulls up. Where's Meadow? It took me forever. I thought she'd be here by now.
Hiram offers Mal a nod as he approaches, but then shakes his head, bobbing his eyebrows. I don't know. She had to go back. Just had something she couldn't leave. And she'd been gone, God, I don't even know how long. Too long.
But what did she go back inside for?
I don't know. She wouldn't tell me.
Well, we gotta go.
I know that. But we ain't leaving without Meadow.
Well, yeah, obviously. I wouldn't do that either. Okay, well, should we go get her? Or if she's in trouble?
If she was in trouble, we'd know. She'd do something. If she brings Lori out, we can't. We can't take her, Mal. We all talked about that. We can't take Thomas Crane's daughter on the run with us. He'd follow us. He'd find us. No matter what, we can't take her. She comes out. We can't take her.
Jesus. She knows that. Calm down.
Doing my best to keep all this together, Mal, but we are hanging by a thread. He does get off his horse at this point and just starts to pace with restless energy. If she's trapped, I gotta go find her.
Mal pops off his horse, just sort of throwing the reins around one of the nearby bushes.
Here, let's just smoke.
I think he pulls out the pack and just throws it towards Mal. A dismissive throw, barely even looking at him. You go ahead, I can't.
I think it doesn't quite make it to him. Slop down in the mud, and he picks it up, pulls out one, and effortlessly lights a match. The small ember lighting up his boyish face.
You know, I'm not used to being the calm one, Hiram, but I think we're gonna be fine. She knows we can't leave with Lori. She's not gonna jeopardize everything for her. You need to focus on what matters here, which is Meadow.
A cigarette's worth of time passes in the cut between angles as we cut to Hiram crouched on the ground, staring at the mansion, Mal in the background staring the same way, pulling the last drag off before he throws the butt into the mud and stomps it out with his foot.
It's been too long, Mal. We're running out of time.
You're not wrong.
We gotta go help her.
We can't go help her. If she gets caught in the middle of the night, that's one thing. Maybe she can talk her way out of it. No fucking way you and I can talk our way out of it.
Bullshit. I ain't gonna leave her there, especially if she got caught by Crane. Who knows what he's gonna do?
You can talk your way out of a lot of things, Hiram, but I don't think you can talk your way out of a fucking midnight rendezvous with Meadow.
Hiram starts to take steps on the road leading back to Crane's manor. His right hand trails down to the butt of his revolver, fingers playing over the sleek wood of the handle, and he says, "Might not be talking time, Mal."
Well, Hiram, no.
Mal launches into action, starts running towards you.
Hiram, she knows what she's doing. Just hold on.
I know she knows what she's doing, but she could still be in trouble. She might need help. Starts to tussle with him.
I think you throw his hand off, still with one hand on your revolver, and he steps towards you, with his hands at his side for a minute.
Hiram, we can get out of here without killing anybody. She's gonna come out. It's fine.
She's supposed to be your friend. Gonna leave it up to chance? I ain't taking no chances now.
I'm more of a friend to her than you've ever been, Hiram.
I love her.
I love her too. And there's no way I'm letting you go in there and ruin everything for her.
He grabs onto Hiram, almost grabbing at your gun to pull it out of your hands.
Damn fool. Slaps it away and tries to give him a shove backward.
You shove him back. He grimaces. I think for the first time in his life, he clenches his fist and takes a swing at Hiram. He blew up a 6. He got to a 9. I don't think his intention is really to do damage. I think it's to deck you,
Mm-hmm.
So I think he just lays you out flat into the mud before he jumps on your back to hold you into the ground.
You are gonna wait until she shows up. She knows what she's doing, Hiram. How many fucking times do I have to say it? For once in your life, do what she fucking wants you to do.
I think Mal is at least as strong as Hiram, maybe even stronger at this point. He was a soldier.
Yeah.
He was in in the army,
Yes.
like probably more physically fit than Hiram is, and given that he's never really done this before, that's probably a shock to Hiram. So I imagine Hiram, just down in the mud, in the grime, as the rain is pouring down, and we can, see flickers of them in the full moon's light, and Hiram is pushing back, trying to shove Mal off of him. Get off me, soldier boy!
Then stop me, you son
You
of
don't
a...
get to do that. You just gonna leave her.
I'm not gonna leave her. I'm gonna wait until she comes out. I'm being her goddamn friend, unlike you.
And they continue to struggle. Let's make an opposed fighting roll.
Hiram blew up a 6 into a 3, 9.
You grab onto him and throw him over to the side, but he grabs you and pulls you with him using your momentum. You both roll in the mud, rolling over and over until you get the advantage on him. And I think rather than getting on top of him, Hiram isn't so much a guy that's going to overpower people with force, right? It's his cunning. So as you twist and turn, your hand moves and we don't see what you're grasping towards until we twist. Mal is on top once again, but this time there's like a revolver pointed at his chest.
We gotta wait.
Hiram holds the revolver, pointing it up towards Mal, the rain spattering into his eyes as he squints up. I'm going to find her and bring her back, and then we all gonna get out of here and laugh about this later. You told me to be a better man. So let me go and help her. Come with us.
You're not even lying to me right now.
Mal smiles in the moonlight. He lets go of you. He's still sitting on top of you, right? But his hands move to your shoulders. So, he's still grabbing you, but he's not holding you down anymore. And a small chuckle comes out of him before he says,
Shit, Hiram. Maybe you already are.
We cut to Meadow. Her feet sloshing and sliding as she tries to run in the mud fruitlessly, almost tripping over her steps. Her face is red with tears racked on her face. We can see some bruises from her flight from the mansion just now as she's running towards Hiram and Mal, looking over her shoulder every few seconds to make sure no one is following her. At one moment, she looks over and she sees a few figures come out onto the porch, clearly looking for her but haven't spotted her yet. One of them pulling down a lantern from the porch to make their way into the muddy ground surrounding the grounds. Meadow swears to herself as she holds her Winchester in her right hand, sloshing through the mud, almost limp-like in her gait as she scans the bushes for Hiram. She doesn't even think she's been gone that long, and she turns a corner and Hiram's not there. This is where she left him, but he's not there, so she keeps looking. She can't call out, and she looks back and she sees some of the lantern light somewhere in the bushes behind her, looking for her, searching for her, and she keeps searching. She spots a horse's neck pop out over some of these bushes in the night rain, turned a glistening, glossy, dark green, and she stumbles around that corner. And then you see Hiram. He's on the ground. You don't see Mal's horse. You just see your horse and Hiram's horse with him in the ground nearby. A figure is on top of him. It's hard to even tell which one is which. And the only reason you know it's Hiram in this light is the belt buckle he's taken to wearing recently. An ace of spades glinting in the moonlight. The figure on top of him is grappling, and it's clear from the disturbance in the mud around them a fight has taken place, transposing them all the way from Hiram's horse to where they lay now. Meadow stops in her tracks and instantly pulls up her Winchester to her shoulder, aiming down the sights across the glistening steel barrel covered in rain as we cut to Mal's face, smiling down at Hiram. One of his eyes explodes outwards in a violent shower of red. Blood thrown across your face, Hiram, not unlike Meadow throwing a glass of whiskey in your face. His mouth coalesces into a scream immediately as
as his second eye follows suit. 2 perfect shots through the back of his head, thrown out the front like a geyser of hot red death. He collapses onto you for a moment, his scream muffled by your shirt as you look past him to see Meadow, barely recognizable, breathing heavily in the rain, besides the sound of her Winchester you've heard many, many times. Your eyes turn back to Mal as he pulls his head back up from you, somehow alive, a stream of blood pouring out the 2 cavities in his face where his eyes once were, splashing down onto your nose, making it hard to even breathe. His mouth gapes open as he pulls his hands up to his face, his eyebrows contorted into the shape of the screaming man, caught in pure terror, pain swelling through his body. He's kept alive only by adrenaline, and I think he's gonna try to stand up. And I think, Hiram, as you feel him start to push down against you, you realize in that moment, Meadow just killed her best friend, and she doesn't even know it.
The dual gunshots rip through the cacophony of the rain for only a moment that is frozen in time as Hiram is spattered with the red gore. Like a sleepwalker, we see his head turn and identify Meadow's silhouette, and back to Mal as he rears up, still perched above Hiram. And in that moment, he sees Meadow standing, gun raised, finally on her way back from the manor, leaving her entire life behind for him, and now one of the only people who ever really cared about her, dead by her own hand. And he can't let her feel that. So, still dreamlike, he reaches up and places a hand over Mal's mouth before the first scream makes its way out, and with a sudden rush of adrenaline and fear, grabs Mal's shoulder and rolls them over in the mud until he is flat on his back. He places one hand around Mal's back and pulls him into a hug as they roll over in the mud until Hiram is on top and his hand is clenched firmly over Mal's mouth.
Malachi, it was Meadow. It was Meadow. I'm so sorry. Malachi, I'm so sorry. Just hang on. It's all right. It's for her. It's for her. It's gonna be all right. Come on. It's all right. I'm here. I got you.
We cut to a wider shot of them 2 on the ground, Meadow on the right side of the frame. The 2 horses spook. They start to pull and twist, one of them breaking the branch its reins are wrapped around. It starts in a gallop and then starts to trot off somewhere into the bushes as we cut over to Meadow. I think from your point of view, there was someone on top of Hiram, you shot them, and then now Hiram has pulled them over and is sort of strangling them. And you see one of the horses lead off, but that's just what Meadow sees. I think Hiram also sees Malachi's horse break free as well, and it starts to take off in a gallop in the opposite direction, previously hidden behind one of the bushes.
Meadow makes the shot and is so aware of how loud it is in the very, very quiet night, and she sprints over, straight line. She doesn't care how obvious it is right now. She's got to get to him. They got to get out.
You see Meadow quickly approaching you, Hiram, as you glance over your shoulder. Mal's screams slowly fading away underneath your hand. Yeah, if she gets much closer, he is mangled, but his eyebrows still locked in terror and pain. If she gets much closer, she's gonna recognize who he is.
No. Malachi.
Hiram starts to shove himself through the mud, dragging Mal by the shoulders until he gets them into one of the thickets of brush, where he unceremoniously leaves one of the only friends he's ever known and didn't deserve.
You was always right about me, Mal. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
His body stops convulsing. His eyebrows relax as you pull back your hand from his mouth.
I love you. I love you too, Soldier Boy. I'm so sorry.
You See Meadow go for the horse that's running after you see your partner obviously finishing dealing with whoever found you out here. And I think their presence only adds to the urgency. You collect your horse and bring it back to Hiram's. Malachi is still nowhere to be seen as you see Hiram pull himself up from the mud, covered in it, his face wet and sloppy.
I don't think the tears on Meadow's face can be understood as anything other than rain currently. And she gets up on the horse quickly and urgently, and all pretenses drop, yells over to Hiram, How did he sneak up on you? We gotta go. Where's Mal?
Hiram, still in a fugue, pushes himself up, walks directly over to the horse, hauls himself up, looks over to her with empty, haunted eyes, and says,
We was waiting. And they came, and he had to lead them off. Give us a chance.
Son of a bitch. So we waiting?
No.
and I think he just snaps the reins.
I would like the crows to paint the word picture of their march towards their enemy's doom.
It's a drone-style shot, sweeping from the engine towards the back of the train, pointed down. You see the first few cars, turrets, cannons on top still intact, and then suddenly just cuts down to the scenes of carnage and chaos where these train cars have been peeled like a tin can. The crow in the back of the pack, closest to the front of the train, is Abel. He walks with a leisurely pace behind the others, and for every living soul that he encounters, the gun appears in his hands and he fires a single shot. None will remain behind as he walks in the wake of his brother's destruction.
And then the camera finds Harper. He has his rifle upside down so that he can reload it with his left hand, moving perfectly, program motion, faster than any human hand should be able to reload the rounds spent from his rifle. He then flips it deftly, hits the lever one time, adjusts his hat, and makes sure that his duster is sitting so that the armor may actually be useful.
Striding in front of Harper, Lucky hangs his head low, with every single shot from Abel's pistol being a reassurance of everything he's failed at doing.
Just a few paces ahead of him, you see the large shadow of Thaddeus and his covered in red at this point, the maroon red of his heavy duster. He's taken his hat off at this point, so his long, greasy, dark brown hair is just flapping in the wind as we walk by, and you can see a look of just determination on his face and absolute focus like we haven't seen before. Steps left and right to get past any of the debris and bodies that have been left ahead of us as we trudge back to the caboose.
And I think a little ahead of him, much like the bull, charges Ellis through this wreckage, ignoring any possible survivors or dead as he makes his way towards Thomas Crane.
The second to last car opens. It's the sparring gym of Thomas Crane. Sergeant Ash steps out, lighting a cigarette in his mouth, a match lit off his dead skin. I spent my whole life trying to stop Crane from finding you. You just come here anyway.
The hell are you talking about, Ash?
What are you even doing here?
I was friends with your mama. For sure knew her better than Hiram did. I was friends with him before all this went down, back in Louisiana.
You just bringing this up now?
I told you to stay away.
Who are you trying to protect? Us or him?
Trying to make sure all Meadows kids walk away from this.
Oh, it's too late for that.
I don't know who you are, but you're fooling yourself if you think anything you ever said or did was helpful to us.
The only thing you can do now to help us is get the hell out of our way.
He shakes his head and pulls a drag from his cigarette, the smoke exhaling from his dead lips. Hiram was a piece of shit, but whatever you boys have done, your mama did worse. I know you think you can't come back from this, and I know you ain't stopping you from killing me. But it doesn't have to be this way. Your mama's the only person I ever met that came back from something like
Something like what you boys have done.
Save your breath, Ash. I already tried this.
I ain't got no breath to give, Ellis.
Makes two of us.
Listen, it still ain't gotta be like this. You ain't gonna be able to stop us, you know that.
Yeah.
We're gonna put you in the ground, or you gonna move.
Our quarrel's not with you, Ash. Now stand out of our fucking way.
Choose, boy.
Lori's got nothing to do with this.
Well, she's about the only thing Crane cares about more than power, ain't she?
I reckon.
Well, Crane took everything from us. Why shouldn't we take that from him?
Leave her out of it. She also helped Harp, if you remember correctly.
I remember she almost killed me.
She's your sister.
Well, fuck.
What the fuck do you mean she's our sister?
It's her firstborn. When Meadow was married to Thomas. You really gonna kill a crow over this?
Sounds to me like she ain't a crow, she a crane.
But she's mama's.
And who exactly are you? Abel steps towards Ash, and with that finger, reaches out to slowly raise that hat.
His eyes look up at you, ethereal tears streaming down his face. 2 funnels are bored into his eyes, and through them you can see the light reflecting on the snow of the other side of those empty bores.
I see more looking at you than you've seen in your whole life, Abel. I want Crane dead as much as you, but Lori's family. I loved your pa.
That was your first mistake.
Your mama's too.
Yeah, look where it got her. Look where it got you.
I came to her. I kept Crane off her trail for years. Until I came to see her, and she didn't give a damn about her life. The only thing she cared about is you boys not doing the same thing she did. She wasted half her life dealing with bullshit. I asked her to move, and I asked her to change her name. I asked her to run as far away as she could go, and she wouldn't do it on account of you.
He points to Harper with a lit cigarette.
She wanted you to have a normal fucking life. And you're throwing it away.
Listen, I had a normal life until Crane took that from me.
Malachi Ash takes a drag of his cigarette.
I spoke my piece.
Abel, now standing very close to this man, drops from pushing the hat up, rests the back of his hand on Mal's chest, pointed up at his chin. Slowly, with the gentle fade, that revolver congeals from dust and snow and ash into his fingers. The bottom of the barrel against Mal's jaw. Abel's voice is quiet. Do you want it now or after?
Now, hold on, Abel. I have no quarrel with Lori.
It ain't a sin to love our ma, and you know that.
Ash, if you want Crane dead, why don't you just join us? We won't hurt Lori, won't kill her anyways, and you can help us take down Crane once and for all.
You loved our pa, you took care of our ma. Sounds to me like you got just as much stake in this as we do.
First time I heard anybody else that wasn't one of us say something like that.
What do you aim to do with her then?
He says, looking down at the barrel.
Oh, she ain't gonna forgive us now, is she?
Listen, as long as I can get to Crane, I don't care.
I figure that's up to her.
Abel's head kind of cocks to the side and he shrugs. The justice of God falls like rain on the innocent and the sinner.
We're in no shape to be making judgments for anyone else.
I ain't lucky.
He takes his hand holding the cigarette and slowly pushes away Abel's gun. A sorrowful smile forms across his lips, and he turns heel and leads the crows into the next car. He draws his steel-plated pistol and puts a bullet in the talkie box at the top of the car, and then you move to the last car. We see the shot again to that small office interior of Thomas Crane. He's standing in front of shutters, the box in front of him. He presses a button.
I'm sorry, my dear. There's nothing more I can do for you now.
Colton Crane sits on a chair behind him, completely defeated, and he opens the shutters to Tombstone. As the boys enter the last train car that only contains Lori Crane. The wind whips in from outside as Ash opens the door, rustling the deep blue dress Lori Crane is wearing. The deception of the mailman is made evident to all the crows immediately. Lori stands in a well-fortified train car, similar to the office we just saw Crane in. Plush, armored. There's a desk on one side, books and trophies line the walls, and she's holding a shotgun in her hands.
You boys come to kill me?
Well, we came for your pa, but seems like he sent you instead.
You mean that coward Crane sent his own daughter to sit here at the back of a train waiting for us? And he ain't even here?
I doubt my father had any knowledge of your assault. I'm on my way to Texas for negotiations.
We got specific information saying that he was going to be here, and it only makes sense that he's the one that fed it to us.
Lori, they're not going to kill you, Ash says, burning the last remnants of his cigarette. Well, what do you aim to do then?
Where's your goddamn pa?
Tombstone.
Lucky slams his hand against the wall in anger.
Well, looks like we're taking a little family trip then, don't it?
It sure does. Thaddeus, can you still get us off this?
Thaddeus sort of shakes out of a daze as he realizes he's looking at his big sister.
Yeah,
older
right?
sister.
Yeah. The first time you met her, she looked younger than you. When I
Basically,
said
zombies.
that, my thought was that, like, she looked younger than you because you're Thaddeus.
Yeah, I lived a harder life than she did for sure.
Yes.
All of that venom and fire that they had walking down here, Thaddeus is completely lost it.
Yeah, no, I can. I just... we need to take a look around.
And so I suppose I'm going to take a peek out here and see if I can gauge anything coming up before a deadly situation occurs.
Why don't you tell me what spot we teleport to?
There's a tunnel on our way from Arizona and through Texas. It's a special one for this train specifically, one of the recent lines that had been planned out. So it does have the ability to deal with those large turrets. So it's actually a really large tunnel dug into the mountain where they had more money for explosives than they had for rail to go around the mountain. Would have been kind of unnecessary, but TNT gonna blow it up.
Yeah.
And so they've got this tunnel here, and it's showing up probably in the next 20-30 seconds.
Would there be any actual way of stopping this train?
I don't think so.
I'm also looking forward to being stranded in the middle of the Arizona desert.
I kind of went into this expecting this be Lucky's last ride, and now it's like, well, fuck. Now I have to live with the consequences
Now he's not dead, and you have to realize that you
Same,
realize
same,
that
same.
this
die.
train is gonna just fucking derail and kill a lot of people.
Yeah, we're gonna teleport. You're gonna make me roll for it, Caleb, in case I don't,
Yep.
and then we crash.
Yep.
Well, and I can cast the spell twice, even if I fail a whole shit ton. But that's a 7, Caleb.
Then the crows are left behind in the tunnel as the train.
Yeah, I think we watch it go in through the tunnel, and it's such a small hill that it just sort of passes, and then the train goes out the other side of the tunnel, and then you see 6, 7 of us walk out of the tunnel from the shadows.
As the train barrels down, there's a sharp turn not 30 seconds from the tunnel, and you realize the providence that the tunnel provided you, Thaddeus. As the train takes the corner too fast, it starts to tilt and tumble, and then a sound occurs over the next 20 seconds that's louder than any explosion you've heard in your life. Imagine a car rolling, but it is a train thrown off the tracks, rolling, the connections between the cars broken apart. Some of these entire train cars are thrown 30 feet into the air. This massive steel conglomeration of death raining down on the Arizona countryside before the boiler explodes and steam and fire radiate, along with the screams of the thousands of dead souls that aided its journey.
I think after all of this occurs, there's a long pause before Harper looks back through the tunnel. Well, boys, now we're on the same footing as the judge, so I reckon we get moving before he catches up to us.
There's no reason for Lori to come with.
Speaking of which, you know whose blood you got coursing through your veins, Lori?
You know about my father, you must be talking about my mother.
That I am.
Murderous bitch I don't care to talk about.
Hold your fucking tongue. That's Ma you're talking about.
Meadow,
Meadow Nightingale, or Meadow Crow.
you can have her.
Not anymore, we can't.
You been doing all this for that woman?
Your daddy's been doing all of this for that woman.
The hell you mean?
You heard over the intercom just the same as us, didn't you? Years he spent looking for her.
Oh my God.
He gave all his attention. Anytime he wasn't with you, anytime he wasn't at his banquets giving speeches, he was looking for Mama. Your mama.
Tears start to well in her eyes, running down her face.
Our mama.
That's right. And when he found her, do you know what he did, Meadow? Not 2 weeks before we met you?
What?
Well, he sent that thing that was on the train here. One like it.
The one that you saw when Ellis died.
Well, thank God for that.
Shooter. Abel fires the first shot, followed quickly by a cacophony as he empties the chamber, pulls the shotgun, and fires in a helpless rage, frustrated at missing Crane.
Ash pulls a pistol to aim at Abel.
I think Ellis was keeping an eye on him the whole time.
I mean, he can't take you, Alex. Just tell me how it happens.
Well, I mean, I know what he is. I know he's a Harrowed, just like me. Ellis grabs his arm and pulls it back, dislocating it, rendering it completely useless, and then just grabs the back of his head and steps on his back and just pulls as hard as he can and rips it off just like he did with Chayton.
There's a shot of the tunnel, center frame, the Crow Boys in silhouette, and on the other side, the burning wreckage beyond the tunnel. They're framed by the stone structure. Lori falls at the same time that Mal's body hits the ground.
Sorry, friend. Nothing personal.
Fucking lying bitch. He was just a petty, jealous bitch. That's all it was. Ma found Pa. Mistake or not, she liked him more. I mean, I don't blame her.
I think the next shot is of Harper and Lucky standing side by side. Harper with surprise and pause on his face. He takes a step back, that eye wide, quivering.
Lucky stands next to Harper emotionlessly. I guess it's come to us killing family now, hasn't it?
She wasn't family. Abel stands up.
Maybe she weren't family, but she were blood.
She was not.
We don't know Ash. We didn't know Laura's side from what we met.
Think about it.
Another fucking piece of shit trickster.
Just think about it.
No.
Don't it all make sense? And Harper's gaze kind of drags from Lori's corpse to Abel.
Abel stands angrily stalking towards Harper. You're gonna fucking take her side now? Thought you were in this, boy.
Oh, I'm in this. That don't mean that she weren't blood. Harper holds his gaze. I'm still killing Crane.
I think Abel is stopped in his tracks by Harper meeting his gaze with such furiosity. He stands still for a moment, and then just all that rage pours out of him in a moment, like a balloon burst, and he droops. You could see the life and energy draining out of him. Whatever you want.
Don't you worry, boys. As Ellis chucks his head as far as he can into the Arizona wilderness. If she was our sister, I'm sure we'll get the chance to get to know her in the next life.
We cut to Meadow making her way back to her home. The rain pouring around her, her horse and Hiram left behind, while she heads towards her mission. It's no simple feat to sneak back inside the house once she's snuck out. Every moment is fraught with an opportunity for everything to come crashing around her. The walls feel like a prison to her now, so close to her freedom. The next shot is from inside a dark room as a door creaks slowly open. Yellow light thrown in, Meadow silhouetted in the door frame. The shot looks like it's from inside of jail bars, a crib inside of a nursery, as we see Meadow come closer and finally stand by its side. The only sound, the pitter-patter of rain above and the light sorrow of Meadow.
Hey, Laura Belle. I'm sorry I had to wake you up, but I gotta go. And I can't take you with me. I wish I could. I really wish we could. But we can't. I came to say goodbye. Because your papa you don't know how to treat nobody. I should have never had you, Lori. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for bringing you into this world. I'm sorry he's your pop. I'm sorry I'm your mom. I'm so sorry, but I can't have him. I can't have him hitting on you without me being here to protect you. I just can't handle it. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry, Lord.
Meadow reaches into the crib, two hands tightening around her daughter. The cries of her child choked by the newly crow as her tears crash down into the crib below her. A nanny in the doorway now. Oh my God, Meadow, what you doing? Meadow steps back, and no more cries come. The house is called into action as she runs, taking with her a secreted guilt she will carry to her grave, and leaving behind, unknown to her, Lori a breath from death, with her very first memory.